Hey everybody, we'll get started in just a moment, but first, let me tell you about Triple Scoop Music. Have you heard? Getty Images Music now offers over 50,000 hand-picked music tracks and 350,000 sound effects, ready to elevate your video projects with high-quality scene-making audio. Thanks to our partnership with Triple Scoop Music, we've made it easier than ever for you to enhance your creative while saving time and hassle with 100% safe listed tracks so you can post your videos on social media worry-free with no proof of clearance needed. Free watermarked comps so you can test music tracks or sound effects in your videos without drawing from your monthly or annual spend. And upgraded organization of your audio files with the ability to add notes or project codes and to choose downloads from multiple premium access agreements if you manage more than one. Plus, you can now search for similar sounding music tracks using external links from Spotify or Apple Music, or by uploading your own audio files. This tool helps you discover music that matches the vibe of your project by finding tracks similar to the ones that you already love. Available with premium access plans, ultra packs, or a la carte, there's new music to explore every month, so your beats never need to get old. Get ready to rock your world and your video projects with Triple Scoop Music. Reach out to your Getty Images representative to learn more. All right, everybody, the Download Premium Access Live starts now.
On today's Premium Access Live, we'll give you the download on our latest generative AI model updates, enhanced search and filters and boards, collaborating with Media Manager and DAM tools, and fresh visuals that connect with audiences. Plus, we'll take your questions live in our Q&A. Now, here's your host, Jennifer Kelly.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Kelly, Senior Customer Success Manager here at Getty Images, welcoming you to the Download Premium Access Live. We'll get to the good stuff in just a moment, but first, some light housekeeping. As always, I want to give a special shout out to all of our current Getty Images customers and thank you for your business. We truly appreciate it. Portions of today's program have been pre-recorded, but don't forget to drop your questions below and we'll answer them later in our live Q&A session. And yes, this program is being recorded. You'll receive an email with a link later this week to the on-demand version, so don't forget to share it with your colleagues. All right, the house is kept. As we do here on Premium Access Live, today we're telling you all about the latest updates and products and services that can add value to your subscription, enhance your creativity, and optimize your workflow. Let's get things started with the latest from Generative AI.
Hey, I'm Carissa Lilac, Principal Product Manager here at Getty Images. Today, I want to share the biggest update we've made since launching Generative AI by Getty Images. We're launching a new upgraded model and new editing capabilities. I'm super excited for everyone to try these out. If you're new to Generative AI by Getty Images, it's a commercially safe way to generate new visuals or modify images from our creative library, and it's built specifically for professional real-world use. What makes it different is how it's trained. So our model is trained only on licensed creative content. That means no scraped internet data, no public domain data, no AI-generated images, and no editorial or unlicensed content. And because of that clean licensed training set, the model cannot generate identifiable logos or characters or people when prompted. Nothing that will cause legal concerns down the line. And every image you generate or modify is automatically indemnified by Getty Images. No extra steps or review required. We also compensate our creators on an ongoing basis for being part of the training set. So in April, we launched our new upgraded AI model, and this is the biggest leap in quality that we have delivered so far. As you can see from the images here, the new model delivers higher fidelity and realism, stronger consistency across people and faces and hands, overall richer detail, and a more contemporary visual style. Prompt adherence is improved, so what you ask for is what you get, and the model does a really great job handling text generation more reliably. We also support hex and Pantone color input, which makes it easier to match brand colors or design system colors. So that's the new model. In the next few weeks, we'll be launching a brand new feature that we call prompt-based editing. Prompt-based editing lets you describe changes to an image using really simple natural language. So editing a creative image from our library is going to be as simple as a quick prompt. Today, editing often means selecting areas with a brush and masking and working through multiple steps. But with prompt-based editing, that entire workflow just collapses into a single prompt. For example, you can say, change the background to light green and add the words leadership conference in a fun handwriting font. Or change the pancakes to waffles. And the system will just make those changes without altering the rest of the image. When it's live, you'll see a prompt bar above eligible creative images on the website. It's a super fast, intuitive way to take an image that's almost right and make it exactly what you need. The upgraded AI model is already live on our website, and prompt-based editing will begin rolling out in the next few weeks. Once it's live, you'll see messaging on the website, you'll get some emails, and you'll also hear about it on social media. So give it a try. I also want to spend a few minutes covering organization and collaboration tools that you can use to manage your selections and tracking for premium access downloads. Let's do a quick demo. Okay, in this scenario, I'm working with my team on a project with the theme Life's Simple Pleasures. And first, I'm going to start out with a search for joy. And I see some really great images here that I am just going to add to my board. Some really good ones here. Let's pop into the boards. I think I've got what I need. So we'll go to boards up here at the top and choose Life's Simple Pleasures, which is the project we're working on. So I'm going to want to share this board with other members of my team to get their input. But before I do, I'm going to make a few notes. I've used the board comment here already to remind my team about the content review date. And I've also called out some comments here on some of my favorite images. You can see this one, great energy and color. Using comments works really well if there's likely to be some back and forth discussion with people. And you can also use notes to annotate things. You can show all notes up here at the top and see notes that have been left for each image. I can also drag and drop images to position them in the board as I want them to appear. So I am just about ready to share, and I remember that I wanted to make sure we had a really good mix of kids and adults in this board. So I'm going to do a quick search for kids, and yep, it looks like we have quite a few images of kids. So I am ready to share my board now. I'm going to go up here to the top and press share. And because I do want feedback from my team, I'm going to use the invite collaborators collaboration link. And there's also this read-only option to share the board if that is what you would prefer. So let's say that my team and I are aligned on the images that we want to use, and I am ready to download. I can download directly from the board. So I'm going to select a few images here and get ready to download. You can see that if I have previously downloaded one of these images, there's a small tag that says prior download. That just lets me know that these have been licensed before, and if I don't want to use the same image in another project, I could make different selections. But let's go ahead and download these. I'm going to download the selected items. When I'm ready to download, I can use project codes and notes to capture the details around how I'm going to use these images. Let's go ahead and go ahead and add simple pleasures in the notes so that the team knows that's why I downloaded these images, and press download. So those images have been downloaded and are now in my download folder. If you're an administrator on your Getty account, you can add or update project codes. So let's go into overview, and you will see manage project codes as one of the options on the screen. From this screen, you can add new project codes or remove project codes as needed, and there's no limit to the number of project codes you have. And that's how you would manage those for your team. And that's what I have for you today. You can check out Premium Access Resource Center for more information on boards, or reach out to customer service to add administrators to your account to manage project codes. Thank you. Over to Matt.
Hey, thanks a lot, Chrisette. Hi, everyone. I'm Matt. I'm also a product manager here at Getty Images. And I talk to our customers all day long about how to find the right content, how to search the Getty Images catalog to find the best images and videos for their particular use case. That's actually the easy part. The hard part comes into what happens after all this content is downloaded. Where does it go? Who has access to it? What happened to my files? Well, that's where Getty Images Media Manager can help out. Media Manager is our digital asset management product. And what it does is it quietly hums along, working in the background to automatically ingest all the downloads that you and your colleagues make from the Getty Images catalog. It will ingest all those into Media Manager. It also adds all the metadata for those assets as well. Keywords, captions, no more copying from the Getty Images website and pasting into a file somewhere. Media Manager takes care of all that for you. In addition, when you set up Media Manager, it will do a one-time import of your company's entire download history. No need to go back to the Getty Images website and select individual assets to upload manually. Media Manager does it for you automatically. You know, another interesting use for Media Manager is as a brand guidelines hub. We have more and more customers using it these days as a place to store fonts, audio files, PDFs, marketing campaign materials, and of course, all the Getty Images photos and videos that have been downloaded. It can serve as the hub for all that content, making it much easier for you and your staff to find what they need in one place. Media Manager also has a lot of integrations with other platforms: WordPress, Slack, Canva, Adobe Creative Suite, Microsoft Office even. That makes it a lot easier for you to access your Media Manager content in those third-party platforms, helping you to get your work done much more quickly. You also have a really strong account management system within Media Manager. Helps you set who has access to what and for how long. That way you can make sure that the right people and the right teams are accessing your brand content. And finally, when you set up Media Manager, you have the support of our expert team of technical account managers who are there also to help you out over the long run, providing you with tips and tricks on how to get the most out of Media Manager. So what do you do next? Contact us. Let us know what your use case is, and we'd be happy to talk how Media Manager can meet your needs. Now I'll hand it over to Matthew.
Thanks, Matt. I'm Matthew Alvarado, Customer Success Manager from Getty Images, and I'm going to walk you through the Premium Access Resource Center, your go-to hub to get the most out of your subscription. You can access the Resource Center from the Enterprise drop-down menu, the Premium Access page, or the footer of the Getty Images website. At the top, you'll find links to key topics like getting started, boards, generative AI, frequently asked questions, and more, so you can quickly navigate to the sections you're interested in. Within these sections, you'll find clear visual guidance throughout the site, including step-by-step tips for managing your account, tracking downloads, collaborating with boards, and additional generative AI resources. And if you have specific questions, the FAQ section provides answers to real customer questions, from user management and project codes to usage rights and search filters. As always, if you need additional support, your Getty Images representative or customer service team is always here to help. That's all from me. Back to you, Jen.
Thanks, Matthew, for taking us through that. And if you have more questions about premium access, drop them below and we'll answer as many as we can get to in our live Q&A. But first, let's take a look at some standout images and videos in our creative and editorial libraries, all available on gettyimages.com.
Thank you, Jennifer. I'm Beth Wachtel. I am Manager of Curation and Promotion for the Americas, and I'm part of the Global Curation and Promotion team who work in conjunction with the Creative Insights and the Creative Direction teams. The sheer scale of our creator base means an overwhelming volume of assets is constantly coming onto the platform. The creative team plays a critical role in briefing and reviewing the content, and the curation and promotion team ensures that what gets surfaced is meaningful to our customers. Our curation expertise brings to the forefront the imagery customers are looking for, while also introducing them to unexpected, inspiring content they may not have found otherwise. I'm excited to be here and share some of these amazing creative visuals available with premium access. All the imagery I'm sharing today is from our Creative Elite offering. It's of the highest quality and production value, informed by data and our creative insights. The work is relevant and on trend, often even anticipating trends, and is only available on the Getty Images platform from our global creator base, which is made up of renowned photographers and videographers working exclusively with us. So let's take a look. Starting with a talented, multifaceted, exclusive Getty Images creator, Pat Molnar. Credit line, Momo Productions. Pat is a popular advertising photographer who approaches contemporary portraiture in a playful way. Working with models of all ages, backgrounds, and body types, he likes to explore how color, composition, and emotion can convey unique personality. This aligns with our insights our team has surfaced about how, in the age of AI, personal voice, bold self-expression, and creativity are more essential now than ever. The model in this portrait is a larger body person, defying typical beauty standards. Her style is contemporary. The colors and textures of her wardrobe are vibrant and fun, while her pose is elegant and confident, her expression questioning or challenging the viewer. Pat created a portrait that feels both modern and timeless. To me, this image could easily fit in an art gallery or museum. Pat Molnar is also a seasoned lifestyle photographer. With his candid signature style, he observes relatable moments big and small. This lovely shot is immersive and sensory. It captures the joy and chaos of everyday family life for a real young couple, two moms with their two small children in a rural area outside of Atlanta, Georgia. It is inclusive, authentic visual storytelling at its best. The unique personalities of the couple come through the little details of their individual style, while the action conveys how the experience of childhood and parenting are universal. And it fits with our insights around the need for more expansive and realistic depictions of lifestyles in rural US communities. This next visual is an unexpected travel shot taken in Argentina by Alex Treadway, a prominent photographer who specializes in travel and adventure photography. He contributes to major publications like National Geographic and The Guardian, and has commercial clients such as The North Face. I really love this image firstly because of its rich earth tones and textures, but also the selective focus here works to freeze the moment in time, making it feel like a memory. It stirs up feelings of nostalgia. And from our creative insights, we know nostalgia visuals are effective because they strike an emotional chord and connect us with our own past ephemeral experiences. And changing gears a bit, this next image is an example of conceptual storytelling without people. It's by exclusive Getty Images visual artist Jens Ball, credit line J Studios. This is from a series he did in collaboration with our creative team to explore fresh interpretations of AI that move beyond the cliches and glowing blue lights. I love the vivid shades of purple here and how Jens chose a familiar object, an old analog camera, hitting that nostalgic note in a different way. And he paired it with an output of computer binary code, generating a futuristic tool for creativity. It is a surreal yet modern narrative that illustrates the ways AI can have a positive impact when we find a healthy balance with technology. And it reflects our creative insights around how Americans are growing more open to AI as a creative and supportive tool if it intersects with human imagination. Creative Elite also includes exclusive Getty Images creative video content. This clip is from acclaimed videographer Zach Wolf, who often works in tandem with photographer Pat Molnar. One of the best cinematographers in the business today, Zach has incredible control over camera movement and lighting. He knows how to create a mood. The focus here is on a young Indian American child, a Gen Alpha boy, set in a quiet moment of relaxation and learning. The home looks lived in, bathed in warm light, with lots of texture and details, and the color palette is filled with lush jewel tones, building a scene that looks and feels cinematic. And because Zach and Pat collaborated on the shoot, there are also matching stills that fill out a fuller narrative around daily life for the boy and his family. We are continually adding to our creative library, and one strong example of a new creative shoot is from our Create event in Mexico City. These events are in-person gatherings of our exclusive creators filled with creative conversations and collaborative art-directed shoots that give them the space to experiment and make differentiated visuals. One of these creators was Fab Fernandez of the collective The Good Brigade. Fab specializes in action and lifestyle photography to capture the lives of athletes. He worked with our creative team on site to photograph members of a real running club in Mexico City that includes a wheelchair athlete. Our creative insights reveal there is strong customer appetite for authentic disability storytelling. And yet people with disabilities are quite underrepresented in popular visuals. For this shoot, Fab used a variety of camera angles, including drone perspectives, to capture the physicality, camaraderie, and community of a group training run. Compositions alternate between a dynamic, immersive aesthetic that puts the viewer in the middle of the pack, with more pulled back and expansive views of the city that convey a strong, distinctively regional sense of place. The visuals I've shared today embody the unique personal vision of our exclusive Getty Images creators, and our creative team helps guide these shoots to ensure visuals are high quality, relevant, and on trend. And of course, they are only available from Getty Images. And now I'll hand it over to Matthew for an editorial content highlight.
Thanks very much, Beth. Hi, my name is Matthew Summerjay, and I'm Senior Managing Editor at Getty Images. Today, I'd like to briefly introduce you to one of Getty Images' key editorial differentiators, Contour, our premium rights managed portrait collection. Contour offers global licensing of exclusive high-end portrait photography with a particular strength in celebrity and cultural figures. It's a collection designed for customers who need distinctive, authoritative imagery, content that really stands apart from general editorial coverage. The archive currently holds well over 800,000 portrait images, spanning not only film and television talent, but it's also an eclectic and influential mix of politicians, artists, scientists, authors, innovators, thinkers, and business leaders. These images are sourced from more than 600 freelance photographers, staff photographers, and leading image partners, including the LA Times, Forbes, Penske Media, Parimatch, and BAFTA. On gettyimages.com, the Contour landing page brings this offering together. It highlights featured photography portfolios, newly published shoots, recent portrait studio productions, and key image partners. Importantly, when you begin a search from this page, all results are drawn exclusively from the Contour archive, making it a highly curated discovery experience. Because Contour features high-profile talent and internationally recognized photographers, certain images carry additional usage considerations. In some cases, we are required to clear potential placements with a subject's publicist or seek photographer approval before confirming a license. To make this process clear and manageable for customers, the Contour offering is divided into two distinct collections: Contour RA, meaning restricted access, and Contour, the unrestricted collection. You can always identify which applies by checking the details section on the image page. If the collection is listed as Contour RA, the image is subject to additional approval prior to licensing. If the image is labeled simply Contour, it is unrestricted for editorial use and can be licensed either à la carte or as part of a premium access subscription. What truly differentiates Contour, however, is that it isn't solely reliant on contributor submissions. A unique and continually evolving component of the collection is our in-house portrait studio production. Getty Images regularly builds custom portrait studios at major festivals including Cannes, Tribeca, South by Southwest, and TIFF. We also deploy these studios at premieres and award ceremonies, working in close collaboration with official partners to create controlled premium portrait environments. One example is the Toronto International Film Festival, where Getty Images partnered with IMDb to secure a prime location and construct a dedicated portrait studio. Over approximately 6 days, we photographed talent from around 150 films, including directors, producers, actors, and documentary filmmakers. It is an intense, tightly scheduled process, but by creating a considered, elevated set, we give each subject a focus moment in front of the camera. Those 10 to 15 minutes consistently deliver portraits with depth, presence, and authority. Images are edited, captioned, and published to the site within hours of capture. Productions like this have also strengthened Getty Images' relationships with film, television, and talent publicists. The face-to-face collaboration builds trust, resulting in access to an exceptional range of subjects, from behind-the-scenes creatives to A-list stars, and a robust, carefully curated studio schedule. But not every festival, however, offers the luxury of a fixed studio. Cannes, for instance, is famously challenging, with no single photography location. Photographers often work in hotel corridors, stairwells, or boring conference rooms, often given less than 3 minutes with a subject. In these moments, the photographer draws on experience, creativity, and adaptability to transform constraints into a distinctive portrait moment. The same applies to one-off evening events such as the BAFTA Tea Party. In this instance, our portrait studio was a tight 12 by 12 foot setup, and before a guest would disappear into the ballroom area, photographer Justin Bettman had no more than 80 seconds to make his portraits. While time and space are limited, it remains possible to create portraits that feel intimate, engaged, and visually arresting. Images that cut through the noise and chaos beyond the frame. So through Contour, our premium access offering combines curatorial authority with licensing ease, ensuring premium portraits are always within reach. Thank you. And now back to Jen.
All right, everybody, get your questions ready because live Q&A is up next. We'll be right back after this. Hello, downloaders, and welcome to today's live Q&A session. Here with me now are Scott Rosen, Sarah Foster, Matthew Alvarado, and Matthew Dahlgren, and Matthew Summerjay, all the Matts, to answer your premium access, generative AI, or any other questions that you might have. We have over 100 of you visiting with us today, so welcome to you all, and thank you again for being here with us live today. As a reminder, you can drop your questions in the Q&A section below. And while you're at it, why don't you say hi and let us know where you're joining from in the chat. The floor is now open. I see a few questions already coming in, so let's get right to it. First question, I'm going to throw to you, Sarah. Hi there. You mentioned during your presentation, you mentioned elite when you were talking about creative images. The question is, what does that mean and what is the difference with elite?
Hi, Jen. Thank you so much for having me here. And that's such a great question. So when we talk about Elite, it's quite unique as it gives access to the full variety of what's only available on the Getty Images platform. So for us in the creative team, what that means is it includes creators who have incredibly diverse portfolios and skill sets. Many of them are award-winning in the industry. They're active with their own assignments and clients. And then they bring that breadth and expertise into collaborations with our creative team. So we've developed long-standing relationships with many of these creators. We really know their areas of specialization, their technical skill sets, their interests, and their strengths. And from this background, we are able to bring that into kind of highly art-directed projects with them to really sharpen their creative approach to the topics that we're briefing and to use their personal vision so that they can really push beyond the expected. This could range from, like, on the one end, full on commercial level film and still sets. On the other end of the spectrum, it might be highly personal work where we've briefed around a topic to make sure that there's relevance in what they're thinking about, but serendipity and visual sensitivity from fine art or documentary style creators can yield the kind of imagery that just really can't be manufactured. So much like the imagery and the creators that Beth presented in just a bit earlier, those are all people that we work with very closely, and we connect with them on very specific topics to develop beyond, again, kind of beyond the expected. So while both Elite and Signature offer depth, a very wide scope of insights-driven content, there's just a wider offering within Elite, not just in terms of volume, but really in terms of visual interpretations, styles, and approaches. So I kind of think of it like Signature has everything you're probably looking for, but within Elite, you're going to find everything you didn't even know that you needed.
Everything that's trending, the best of the best. Thank you, Sarah. I have a question here for Matt Dahlgren, not to confuse everyone. The question is, my company uses many third-party platforms. Does Media Manager support those types of integrations?
Absolutely, yes. So Media Manager has over 30 integrations with a bunch of different platforms, Slack, Microsoft Office, yeah, so there are plenty of integrations to choose from. Also, the API for Media Manager can be used by you or your dev team to create custom integrations. You know, if for some reason one of the integrations that we offer doesn't meet your needs, or maybe you're using a platform that we're not connected to yet, the API can be used to create custom connections. You can head over to the Media Manager page on gettyimages.com to read a bit more about the connections, and you can also access all the support documents from there.
Perfect. Thanks, Matt. Uh, Matthew Summerjoy, I have a question here for you. Hello.
Hello.
It says the contour collection looks interesting. How often do you add new content to this collection? And can you explain more about restricted access?
Yes, indeed. So, given the number of contributors and staff photographers and image partners that we represent on Contour, we're in fact publishing to the site probably on a daily basis celebrity shoots. And in fact, right now, we're covering the Cannes Film Festival
Mhm.
in France, and we've got a set of photographers down there who were working alongside to produce portrait shoots. We have other freelance contributors who have been commissioned by Libération, for example, who's also sending us imagery. I'm just in the process of uploading in excess of 400 images from his folio. So I can say with confidence that on a daily basis, content is going up. In terms of restricted access, that primarily is down to when a photographer is shooting a higher profile celebrity and the talent that is represented by a publicist. And during the shoot, the publicist will present documentation which effectively states that we can license the images subject to their approval. So when a customer wishes to use the image, we can agree the placement in principle, subject to contacting the publicist to get that cleared. And then there are some instances where there are some of our kind of more fine art, for want of a word, portrait photographers like David LaChapelle or Anton Corbin, who obviously take passionately where their work is seen, and so they like to be consulted as to where an image might end up getting used of theirs. So we just have to quickly get in touch with them. I would say that generally speaking, we can get these approvals done within a 24-hour basis.
Perfect. And that helps the customer too, because they don't have any qualms about, whether that use is um, approved or not. Thank you, Matthew.
Jennifer, I'm
Uh,
just gonna quickly just jump in just to say that,
yes,
I love to do that.
I know you love to jump in. Go for it, Scott.
I was just gonna add to what Matthew said, and you're just gonna contact your sales rep or work with our service team, and they're gonna help navigate that with our contour experts. So you're gonna be taken care of that way. You don't have to figure all of that out on your own.
Thank you, Scott. And while you're
Sure.
talking, I have a question here for you.
Fantastic.
What other collections are available to customers? Well, a lot, right?
Yes. Well, that's
Go
that's a
for it.
really good question, and I can spend the next, half hour or hour talking about it. But first, depending on how your company set up, your PA will ultimately dictate what collections from which you can search and download.
Mhm.
The first and most important step is to make sure that you're logged in. Otherwise, you won't be able to see what you have access to, and you always have to ensure the PA agreement toggle is turned on. But whatever your plan is, you can be assured that the imagery in the video you will find is unmatched. And Getty Images is committed to authentic representation and continually evolving our content and collections. Sarah discussed some of the advantages of Elite earlier and how we get that content onto the site. So, collections are constantly being updated. And whether it's Nosotros collection or the disability collection or the disrupt aging collection, you will find what you need to tell the stories that reflect what we see in the world. And collections like Moment and 500 Pics will have user generated type imagery. And we have enough vectors and illustrations throughout all the collections that you are completely covered there. So if you're having any issues finding what you need, even with our new natural language search, please don't hesitate to contact our customer service team because we will be glad to help you find the content that you need from these collections.
Yeah, or contact your rep. I'm always people love it when they see those specialty collections, but they don't quite know how to find them always. So we're happy to guide you through that so you can get, like Scott said, representation that's authentic, respectful, and high quality, of course.
Thank you,
Um,
Jennifer.
Thank you, Scott. Okay, Matt Dahlgren, I'm going back to you. Can we set up a demo for generative AI specifically for our company? And if so, how can we do that?
Yeah, you definitely can. If you have a Getty Images sales rep, Getty Images rep that you work with every day, contact that individual and they'd be happy to get that going for you. It might be with Scott. You never know. If you're lucky, you
If
might
you're
get Scott running
lucky,
that
yeah.
demo for you. But if you don't have a sales rep, just go to gettyimages.com/AI. And on there, uh, a link to a contact form that you can fill out, and that will get routed to the right folks to work with you on a demo of generative AI.
Perfect. Sarah, I have one for you here. Is
Yeah.
there a difference between a Getty Images creator and a Getty Images artist?
I love that question because the terminology has just sort of evolved over time. There's no difference at all. All of our creators are artists in their own right. We've used you might hear a term, a Getty Images contributor, a Getty Images creator, a Getty Images artist. All the same thing. They're sort of different terminology, but on our side, the word has kind of evolved over time because at this day and age, they really are all creators. They might work in multiple different mediums. They might be photographers and videographers. They might also work in computer generated imagery, not generative AI, but computer generated imagery. They might do illustration. They might do a combination of all of those things. So sort of evolved over time to just broaden the scope and use the term creator because really every aspect that they bring to it is a creative process. I think we think of them. I think in the creative team, it goes without saying that they're all artists, but creator is sort of the term that we've been using today because it seems to really fit a broad understanding in the marketplace today of what that means and the broad scope and versatility that one can bring into making really amazing visual content across all types of styles and approaches.
Perfect. Yeah, getting broader every day. There was so many tools available to everyone. Let's see, Matthew Alvarado. I had a question here for you. I already have generative AI. Where can I get more information about using my Gen AI tool?
Wonderful question. Of course, contact your customer success manager. They'd be happy to walk you through how you want to use it and different tips and tricks because we're keeping kind of up to date on those every day. But my favorite is just go to gettyimages.com, highlight AI generator at the top. You'll see a drop down will come down and you'll see options like generate new images, modify, create images, custom fine tuning. So kind of choose your path. The landing page will give you tons of great information, but if you scroll down to the bottom, there's a list of really great frequently asked questions that can help to guide you on what you want to create and how you want to create it. So start there and collaborate with your customer success manager because we love to work with you and we love to hear from you.
Perfect. Sarah, going back to you, how often do you have new creative shoots for your creative content, and what does that process look like?
Oh, sure. So actually, there's brand new creative content coming onto the site literally every minute of every day. Um, as a team, we're a global creative team, and we're organized regionally. So with across each of our regions, as a team, we are basically doing sort of a deep dive of research into our needs at any given time. What's happening in the marketplace that's going to translate into the need for a picture or for visual storytelling, analyzing our specialty collections, what areas really need to keep being developed or repictured and reimagined with fresh new content. And we translate those into creative briefs that we put out to all of our Getty Images creators, our Getty Images artists, often with sort of a targeted specialization. So we might work with our videographers with very targeted briefs that are just to video specific needs, or with our conceptual creators, our still life creators on very targeted conceptual needs that really will fit their skill set. So we have these briefs out, they're new briefs out to our creators every single month. And so that sort of guided content is coming consistently, along with what our creators are shooting and investigating and doing on their own. And then in the process that I was kind of describing before, within some of the more hands-on art-directed projects, those again always relate to the content that we're briefing, the areas that we know are most targeted or most needed by our customers. But we'll then work more hands-on with the relationships that I described before to go a little bit further in developing the details of a shoot beyond sort of the basic need or the basic brief. And that's happening constantly. That's what our whole job is here, really, is to be briefing out to all our creators and then working with the most engaged, the most unique of them to take each one of those needs a little bit beyond what might be expected to bring in that visual variety and that visual approach. And so that content is coming new to the site every day, and we're curating that content to make sure that the best of it is really getting easy to find and being brought into the specialty collections and hopefully making its way right to all the different starting points that any customer might have for their content needs, that they can find their way into the briefed and guided content that we're creating.
Yeah, we really do have our finger on the pulse when it comes to what's trending visually. We have full departments dedicated to that. But just to let all the viewers know out there, if you are finding any gaps in your content, just reach out to your sales rep and we'll be happy to take that feedback back to Sarah and her team. If it's something very niche, we can always talk about custom content, which is another service that we provide too.
Yeah, I'll just
Sarah,
jump in to
yeah.
say I'm so glad you said that, Jennifer, because it is a constant flow of feedback from our own creative process and research and brainstorming, but it's always informed by our sales research team, our salespeople, our custom creative insights team in customer meetings. Any feedback really does come directly to us, and then we problem solve and we try to find the best way to meet that need, whether it's for a specific customer or how to broaden that one ask into something that could be relevant even more broadly. So please don't ever hesitate to bring your feedback to us. We're very hungry for it all the time.
And I have to say, we love closing the gap on those. So we reach out to Sarah and her team. They create content. We're able to then go back to customers and say, hey, look what we listened. We heard you. Here's some content that we just created. It's new and it's fresh. And that makes us really, that really fulfills everything that we do. It brings a lot of joy to us to be able to do that.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Matthew Alvarado, I have another generative AI question here for you. Is all Gen AI image creation pay per generation, or do different subscriptions have some generation included with the subscription?
Well, both. So you can start with a small generation package of 25 to 100. That's a one-time cost. Most popular option is adding it into your subscription, which paired with your premium access plan gives you unlimited generations and iterations. So really valuable. Yeah, I'd be happy to talk more about it in greater detail.
Yeah, and like you said, unlimited generation. So it's only until you download on that really popular one that it counts against your overall cap. So yeah, we're always happy to answer any of these questions for you all. Let's see, Matthew Summer J. I have a question about Contour, another one. Do you have the contacts of the publicist if necessary?
Yes, we do. And I think over time we've built up a very good network of publicist contacts. So yeah, there isn't ever too much difficulty in kind of finding out who represents a given talent. And I think because we've done a lot of portrait studios over the years, for instance, at the Toronto Film Festival, there are a lot of publicists who are turning up who represent the talent directly or are there to assist in raising a movie's profile. So it's a great opportunity to network with them. And I think we've established a really high degree of trust in clearing images with publicists, that they know that the information we provide them in order to get that approval is accurate and is for a quality placement.
Perfect. And just a reminder, audience, keep your questions coming in the Q&A feature below. Matthew Alvarado, I see one here for you. When creating a custom image with generative AI, are edits included or is each iteration considered a new generation?
Because you have unlimited generations, edits and modifications are definitely included. Some prompts when you click generate, you'll get 4 iterations in a lot of cases. So, but yeah, so you can prompt and iterate until your heart's content. And when you finally download the image that you love, it just takes one from your cap.
Perfect. Thanks, Matthew. Sarah, going back to you again, how do you come up with new or emerging themes and subjects to feature as a focus for your visual storytelling partner collections?
Oh, great question. So the the partner collections really evolved similarly to how we try to approach all of our content needs in really starting, well, it's not even starting in one area. It's sort of a comprehensive look at all given times to include, on the one end, kind of research into really analyzing what we have, what bases are already covered, what's performing well, what are customers really searching for, where does the interest lie. So we're always sort of checking our own thoughts and assumptions against what customers really are asking for and looking for when they come through the partner collections. And then looking out more broadly and doing a lot of research in the marketplace. So analyzing advertising, analyzing, really looking at editorial uses, what's in the news, what's popping up on social media, what are influencers and outside creators doing in these spaces around these topics. We think about which is what's happening in society, and then we spend time as a team brainstorming, putting all those pieces together. So the data side, the marketplace research side, and then sort of our own creative process of saying, well, what does all that look like? What does that mean in terms of visual storytelling? How do we go past sort of a single line item of like, hey, somebody searched for this, and how do we think more broadly? Like, what are the emotions involved? What are the concepts involved? What's the broader story here, and what are we really going after? And with our partner collections, we also in some cases have quite good feedback loops together with our partners. So the disability collection is a great example. That's a ongoing partnership where we're able to get constant feedback from the National Disability Leadership Alliance on what we have in our collection, what our gaps are, on new content that's come in that we've briefed using their input, to say, how are we doing against some of these needs and what are we missing? And again, our creative process is to turn all of that background into creative briefs that we then go out to our creators, either putting out to all our creators to see who might have access, who might have an interesting way to approach that, and then working very hands-on in sort of one-to-one projects where we know that there is more of a need to really get something fulfilled or really get it fulfilled in a particular way. And that's sort of the more hands-on art direction that I was describing before. So it's really a kind of a constant feedback loop to look at what we have, find the gaps, look to those gaps, see how those gaps are performing. And again, as Scott said, we have a good kind of communication kind of loop as well with our sales research team to hear what are people asking for that might not already be on our radar. So those are a number of the different ways that we work towards filling those gaps.
Yeah, and viewers, I should mention to take advantage of all the research and work that Sarah and her team put into the creative content, go to Visual GPS. You can access it at gettyimages.com/visual GPS. And there you'll see a lot of that research, the latest visual trends, some storytelling about how to incorporate it into your projects by industry and all sorts of things. So it's a treasure trove there for you. Um, all right.
Yeah,
Well, go ahead.
can I just offer one more thing that I realized I didn't think to mention? I talked a lot about kind of what comes from our creative team, but of course, a lot comes from also an ongoing process with our creators. So we put out these briefs on an ongoing basis. We have a lot of other points of engagement with our most active creators. We have creative hangouts every month where we come together and kind of as a group with them beyond just individual needs that we're briefing. We talk about visual trends. We talk about the context behind, say, some of these partner collections. We talk about representation. We talk about authenticity. What does that really mean? All the same things that we talk with all of you as customers about, that you come to us talking to us about. We're really making sure that our creators understand all of that background and context to bring into the specifics of their shoots. And often the best of our work comes from those creators' own personal backgrounds. It's their own connections, their family members, or a connection through for an amazing location or an organization that they feel passionate about that helps connect them to real people, real stories. That what we try to bring is our insight and our guidance so they understand what's really relevant, and then they can bring all of their personal connections, all of their own interests and background, and visual specialization, and bring those two things together. But that's a huge part of the process, is that behind every image on this site, there is a human being who's a creator who has all of their own interests and needs and kind of unique personal backgrounds that they bring into the content as well, that is often easy to overlook because there's so much amazing content. It can get easy to just think that it's just all coming out of nowhere, but it's all coming from really interesting humans with great stories behind so many of the shoots. And that visual GPS site, we feature a lot of those kind of behind the scenes content spotlights so that you can get a little sense of where the content is coming from.
Thanks, Sarah. It's fascinating to see how that is all produced, and we appreciate all your work there. Well, everyone, that is our show for today. Thank you for submitting your questions, and answers to anything that we didn't get to today will be followed up on within the next week. Thanks to our amazing panel, Scott, Sarah, and the Matthews. As a reminder, you can catch all past episodes of The Download Presents, and Premium Access Live on demand over on our dedicated show page. If you have questions about Premium Access or any of the products or solutions we covered today, contact your Getty Images representative or email us at thedownload@gettyimages.com. As you exit today's session, you'll be asked to answer a few brief poll questions. Please take a moment and let us know how you liked today's program and what kind of topics you'd like to see us cover on future episodes. Thank you once again for being a Getty Images customer. We truly appreciate your business. I've been your host, Jennifer Kelly, and we'll see you next time on The Download Premium Access Live.